So we can start with the very first one. Have you talk about, what led you to write the pieces? What were some of the things happening in your life leading up to writing the pieces that you've been working on this?
Okay, the musical stuff actually also happened very early. Of course, I didn't know what things were called exactly, but do you know when there's a symphony and then you listen to a whole bunch of stuff and Beethoven does this, Mozart does this, Brahms, not exactly the same way, but especially Mozart and Beethoven and lots of earlier composers. There's a thing called recapitulation where you do a whole big section and then you have development where you throw ideas around and screw around with things for a while. And then at the end of the symphony, the whole damn recapitulation comes back. And as a kid, I just wanted to take the arm of the the record player, take the arm and go, because I was like, I heard that before. It's not interesting. I've already heard that. That's a terrible idea. I thought that was horrible. So I never wanted to hear the same, I'll just abbreviate words, S at the end that I heard at the beginning. So that, as a kid, I just thought, that's just terrible. I was tired of that. I was tired of any kind of exact repeats. I did not like when there were sequences, like the circle of fifths thing, or if a composer sets up any kind of anything that repeats exactly over and over again. I could not stand it. And that had to do with melodies too. I didn't like repeats. Uh, by the time I was 9 or 10, I didn't even like tonality. I was sick of it.
Mm.
It was like the same thing over and over again. And Schubert used borrowed chords, and that was great. I like that. But composers that use chords that there were only a few of in whatever key they were working in, I just thought it was the most horrible thing I had ever heard. It was a nightmare. I had to do something about it. It really pissed me off. And so what happened next was as I started, and I started writing things at about the age of 5, and my mom was my first composition teacher. Very soon, like I would say by first, second, third grade, I learned about composers that were forbidden. Music you should never listen to because it was horrible and it sounded nasty. And like, that my grandmother would mention that she hated Stravinsky because it was just ugly and rotten and you shouldn't listen to it because it was the most horrible. Like she would get upset if I was playing. One day she did. She said, "You've listened to that," and it was L'Histoire by Stravinsky. She said, "You've already listened to that twice. You're gonna make me beat you." And I said, "Beat." I was just like, I like this. So and when I was like 10, I would listen to 10 or 11, I listened to Wozzeck by Berg, thought it was great. I didn't want to listen to Mozart anymore. I mean, I was done, and I've never liked Mozart since. I've just thought, screw it, I'm not going to listen to it. Um, and within music, there were certain things as I went to theory class, and I started going to university when I was in high school and took music theory and composition and counterpoint and all these stuff. I hated ostinati. Ostinati are when a pattern repeats over and over again. I don't like it. Stretto and fugato, when you have, especially in the fourth movement, I don't know why. I still don't know why. Millions of composers, they write a perfectly good first movement many times. Then they get to the fourth movement and they put in a stretto or a fugato. Like no one's ever, oh my God, no one's ever thought of this. It just, again, when I was a kid, I would listen to symphonies. I'd think, what a moron. There's like 200 other people that did the same damn thing. What is going on? This is stupid. So there were like these patterns that I would see, even as a little kid in classical music, that I thought someone has got to stop this stuff because it's terrible. Um, I didn't like when I could tell what was going to happen next. I didn't like anything predictable. It was just too much for my little ears and I still don't like it. So anyway, there's that. Then I'm done with that. Now I'm moving on to the things that are available online and
Maybe start with one that you really enjoyed.
um well, I'd probably have to pick the one that's online, that's the last one that I was able to finish in a way that I liked. And that would be Sonata Cheyenne.
Hmm.
Um, that one is has to do with this Sand Creek massacre of 1864 and the Cheyenne Nation